All right, welcome back to an episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Tonight we're going to start calling this the normal cast. We got Adam, we got Chris, and we got Keith. We are sticking with our, what is now Week 12 college football pick'ems. We have Week 12, Week 13, and then Championship Weekend and Bowl pick'ems. So we got 4 of these left. Right now, Keith staying atop. He's been atop pretty much the whole season. 87 and 39. 78, sorry.
I was like, man.
He's gonna get there anyway.
I'll probably get there this
He's
week,
going,
yeah.
He's going 9.
Should I hope? I want to go 10-0.
Yeah.
No one's done it yet.
Won't bet anything, but he's got the best record. Adam's sitting in second place now, 76 and 41. Made up 2 games on me last week, and then I've fallen to 75 and 42, but I'm still 3 games ahead of Alex, who will have to do the punishment. Sounds like 12 to 24 hours at Buffalo Wild Wings. However long they're open, we might pick a UFC fight night so they go all the way till 3 a.m. And he has to sit there the entire time.
Unless he just gorges himself full of wings.
He will probably do that just to cut 6 to 8 hours off of that. So we're going to be jumping into our Week 12 pick'ems. We got a little bit of some off-brand picks is what I'm going to call this week. Not a whole lot of top 25 matchups. I think we only have 3 of those. This is kind of that week where everybody plays somebody easy right before their final game.
Unless you're South Carolina.
Unless you're South Carolina. So we will start with Michigan State and Indiana. This is a battle of 3 and 7s and 1 and 6s in the Big Ten. Indiana is at home in Bloomington, Indiana. They are a 4-point favorite. This is a big noon kickoff.
And
this is the big noon kickoff.
Is this supposed to be like the game of the week for Big Noon?
Yeah.
If it's the big noon kickoff, that's
what you would think.
their biggest game.
Well,
yikes.
Nah. I think their big noon kickoff actually is Michigan and Maryland this week. So, but this is a nooner.
Give me Indiana at home. Both these teams are trash this year.
Yeah. There's not really much difference. They're both 4-1 in their last 5 games. One's beaten Nebraska, one's beaten Wisconsin. They've both gotten blown out by Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State, and Rutgers. Yeah, give me Indiana. I'm good with that too. I mean, I don't really know enough about these 2 teams to not take the favorite here, I guess.
I mean, I drafted Michigan State thinking they were going to have a great year, and then they went and fired Mel Tucker. So that really didn't help a lot. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to take Indiana as well.
Okay. All right, on to pick'em number 2. This is a good matchup, actually. 8-2 SMU. They're 6-0 in the conference. Memphis 8-2, 5-1 in the conference. This is for pretty much a second spot, like who's going to end up playing Tulane in the American Athletic Conference Championship. Right now, SMU is an 8.5-point favorite on the road at Memphis.
I'll start with this one. I'm going to take SMU. I think SMU has just been on a tear. I mean, they've just been destroying people, so I like what they're doing offensively. I like what they've done the last 5 games. Especially what game did we watch the other day? Oh, 69-10 against Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they scored, it was like 52-3 in the first half. So, yeah, I'm gonna run with the Mustangs here. I'm going to go with SMU.
Yeah, this is tough.
They've just been clicking.
Yeah, they have been on fire of late, and they can put up some freaking points over under 66.5.
Take the over.
Yeah, take the over for sure. I don't love that this is a noon game. Like, that can be a little bit, kind of a sleepy game when you're coming into another
Well, technically it's
stadium.
an 11 a.m. game because it's
Central time.
noon in Memphis is Central Time, yeah.
Yeah.
Which SMU's fine with that. They play those games all the time.
I'm gonna go off brand here. Give me Memphis. I don't know why, but I just have this like weird feeling.
Like Kentucky last week?
Yeah.
See how far that took us.
Yep.
I'm taking SMU. I own SMU this year in the college fantasy, and they have, like Keith said, proven time in and time out that they can get it done. But these are 2 very high-powered offenses. I just think that SMU has the better defense.
Yeah.
And will be able to keep Memphis under control, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see both these teams put up, 30,
40 points
35.
apiece?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hammer the over.
All right, we got our top 25 matchup. We got number 1 Georgia. They're 10-0. They're on the road at number 18 Tennessee, who's 7-3. Obviously, Tennessee got blown out by Missouri at Missouri. This one, Georgia's a 10-point favorite. And I got a pretty good feeling I'm going to just swipe this across the board, but I'm going Georgia.
Sick 'em dogs. I don't think anybody's going to beat Georgia until they beat Alabama in the conference championship game.
Yeah, give me Georgia until you. It's still the it team until you can prove it.
Well, and Tennessee, I think, just has regressed as the year has gone by. They looked god awful last week. I mean, I know Chris and I both took Tennessee last week and talked about how Joe Milton was going to go out there and just kind of be the it guy, and he looked.
I told you.
He looked
Told
horrible.
you it was all about Mizzou.
Yeah, Mizzou's the real team. I think the thing here that the reason this line is 10, in my opinion, Tennessee is a completely different team at home
Mm-hmm.
I agree
than
with
they
that.
have been on the road this year.
Well,
So
they're a tough
that-
home team.
that-
You're right.
that gives them an opportunity. 3:30 game, not a nooner, right there in that
So it's
CBS.
the CBS game of the week.
Yeah, and so I still just don't think that Tennessee has enough to actually beat Georgia. That's
No,
what
I think Georgia's the most well-rounded team in the SEC. So
This one surprised me a little bit. Number 20, North Carolina. They're 8-2. They're on the road at Clemson. 3:30 game. Clemson's obviously 6-4, buying to try and get back into the top 25. Clemson is a 6.5-point favorite at home.
I guess they're still sucking. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go first on here. Call me crazy. Give me North Carolina for this one.
I don't see what people are seeing in Clemson right here in this game, in this matchup. I mean, you got a Heisman hopeful in Drake May, who, I mean, can torch some defenses passing the ball, I don't see Clemson being able to stop them. So yeah, give me UNC on the road as well.
Yeah, I'm taking the heels on the road as well. I just don't understand. I don't understand what the. I don't understand what the allure is for Clemson right now. They haven't proven to be anything this year outside of the game
They
against
had
Notre Dame.
they had a good win against Notre Dame. They had a
but they were also
convincing win against Georgia Tech this past week.
Yeah, but they were also up. It's Georgia Tech, but they were also 24-3 on Notre Dame and let them come back to almost win that game.
Yeah.
So I mean, they didn't do it convincingly. I don't think they're the same team that they have been in the past. And until Dabo either decides to go into the portal and actually grab some kids, I think it's gonna be the same thing next year too. I don't think they're gonna continue to go very far.
Yeah. Well, we got Kentucky and we got South Carolina. This is a 6-4 Kentucky team on the road at South Carolina, who's 4-6, still fighting to get into the bowl game. 7:30 game in Williams-Brice. Should be really good weather. High of 66. No rain issues or anything like that. So.
And Rude will be here.
And yep. So we will have a good old time, the two of us in that stadium. So.
Oh yeah.
Kentucky is a 1.5-point favorite currently on the road.
Give me South Carolina at home. It is a completely different atmosphere at night in Williams-Brice. It is just a wild time. I think that the crowd really plays into it. Granted, I know we played Vandy last week and had a very convincing win against them. I think you actually finally saw what the offense could do. And Kentucky seems to be a little bit on the slippery slope here and just hasn't produced the last few weeks. So
I mean, they're 1-4 in the last 5 games.
I think we're catching Kentucky on a low here, and I think it's a good thing for Carolina. So let's continue what we have seen the last 2 weeks, and let's take South Carolina at home.
I thought for a second I was going to be the only one taking South Carolina. I think these teams are headed in two different directions right now. Adam hit the nail on the head. Kentucky started to play some really good competition, and they've started to head downhill. I will say they have fared better against common opponents, Tennessee and Missouri. But I also think Kentucky got the crap beat out of them this past week. Not only on a scoreboard, but in a physical sense by Alabama.
Absolutely.
You're tired. You got to come to a really rowdy, raucous environment in Columbia, South Carolina. Daru's going to be here, like you said. It's going to be a loud crowd. And South Carolina just seems to be trending up a little bit. They have, of course, played easier competition with Jacksonville State. And
that
Vandy.
wasn't a gimme game either.
Yeah, that wasn't really a gimme game, but it was still, lesser competition than an A&M or Missouri
Alabama,
or Tennessee.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think right now they're trending, and we'll see if South Carolina can stay in this hot phase that they're in right now.
Yeah, I'll be the homer. I'm going to go with South Carolina as well. I think South Carolina, like you said, is trending in the upward motion. And there's just something about Beamer ball in November.
Yeah.
I mean, he turns it on in November. They turn. I mean, they showed it last week. I know. Yes, it was just Vandy, but if you look at what Vandy's done throughout the entire season, no one's held Vandy to under 10 points, and we held them to 6.
Yeah.
So, and no one scored 40 on them. I don't think either. So I mean, we were able to do a lot to a really decent Vandy team. I mean, Vandy's definitely trending upward. I mean, they're still not going to be in the upper echelon in the SEC, but
Yeah, a couple people scored 40 on Kentucky, UNLV.
well, okay, but
yeah.
but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
But what we've held, I mean, they've not been held to under 10 all
Except for
season.
Ole Miss. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we held them to less than Ole Miss did.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think South Carolina is trending in the right direction. It's Beaver Ball in November, so
Yeah.
gonna ride with it.
Well, we've kept them on the slate because they have played close games. Iowa's back for another one.
Iowa, hammer the under.
8-2 Iowa, number 16 in the country. Illinois is 5-5. This is a 3:30 game, Big Ten. Iowa, a 3-point favorite at home, over under 30.5.
Hammer the under.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Iowa at home as well.
I'm not gonna go against Iowa.
Yeah.
Y'all did it last week. You see what it did to you.
It's been hard. I won't lie. It just, you look at these teams and you say this team has so much better an offense than Iowa. If Iowa's defense slips up a little bit, and Illinois is trending good. Beat Maryland, beat Minnesota, beat Indiana, almost beat Wisconsin, and of course the tough loss to Nebraska. But I mean, when you talk about Iowa, 22-0, 10-7. They did lose to Minnesota.
They should have won
12-10.
that game.
Wisconsin 15-6, and then Purdue 24-3. They play close games. They win close games. They win low-scoring
They
games.
play good defense.
Iowa is the best defense in the country. I can look into this camera and tell you. I don't care about Alabama. I don't care about the SEC. I don't care about Ohio State. Iowa has the best defense in the country, without a question. So
They just can't score without Cade McNamara.
they can. So give me Iowa across the board here.
Yeah.
Everybody go with that? Okay.
I said before you finished.
Yeah. Now we got some top 25 matchups. Number 5, Washington, 10-0. They're on the road at number 11, Oregon State. Oregon State's 11-2. This is a
Corvallis.
7:30 game in Corvallis. Oregon State, a 2.5-point favorite.
This is the weirdest thing I've seen. How is an undefeated Washington a
dog?
a 2.5 point dog?
To a two loss team.
Correct. I understand it's Oregon State at home, but still, I don't understand how Washington is not the favorite in this game. Especially, did somebody get hurt? Like what? I didn't see anything. But like, is somebody sitting out? Is somebody not playing?
Yeah.
Like I hadn't seen anything that would tell me
I think they're
otherwise.
just doing it based on the fact that it's Oregon State at home, and Oregon State just plays so much better in Corvallis than they do on the road.
But still, give me Washington to win this game.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
is something maybe that we're not seeing or I haven't seen, but I think the way Washington's been playing all year is undoubtedly the best team right now in the Pac-12.
I've lost enough money to Vegas to know something is here on this. And so I am going to take Oregon State. And I'll say this, to give your point a little bit, I think the reason, I don't think Oregon State should be favored. They should probably be a 3-point dog at home, in my opinion. But I think the reason we're looking at Oregon State being the favorite right now is because when you look across Washington, I don't think Washington should have beat Oregon. I think everybody in the country agrees that Oregon was the better team. They made some bad coaching decisions, and ultimately they lost that game. Southern Cal doesn't have the defense to stop Washington. They both have similar offenses. Utah has the defense to stop Washington, doesn't have the offense. Oregon State is the team that has both. It matters about how good DJ Uiagalelei plays. Like
DJ Ukulele.
Uiagalelei. Yeah. It really does matter. If he turns the ball over, Oregon State will not win the football game. If he plays a clean slate, moves the ball up and down the field, puts the team in the end zone, Oregon State has that defense at home in a 7:30 raucous crowd to play with them. So
I just got burned by them the last time they had that at home, so that's why I'm gonna stick with the Heisman front runner.
yeah, I'm willing to take a risk here because I'm with you. Something seems fishy here,
Yeah.
and Vegas knows something we don't.
Absolutely.
They always
So,
do.
all right, give me Kansas State. This ought to be a really fun one. 7-3, 5-2. Number 21 at number 25, 7:00 game out in Kansas. This is on Fox Sports 1.
5-2.
They're both 7-3, 5-2 in the conference.
Oh,
Actually, Kansas is 4-3. I thought they were both 5-2 in the
sorry,
conference.
I didn't know what you're saying there. My apologies.
And this is a 7.5-point favorite, Kansas State on the road right now.
Think about where this would have been, just 3 years ago when Kansas was god awful.
Yeah.
And now look at them; they're 7-3, vying for championships in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I think
Coming
this
off
one's
that big win against Oklahoma 2 weeks ago.
I think this is a tough call here. I mean, looking at it, the fan, I guess, or the public, whatever you want to call them, 80% of everybody's saying Kansas State. I don't think Kansas has played bad ball. I think they've played, is it Jay Lynn Daniels, right?
Yeah.
Has played, I think, well.
No.
No,
Yes.
Bean,
No,
Bean
he's right. He's right. Jalen Daniels, but Bean has been the quarterback this year. He's been out.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Daniels has been out. Bean's a transfer from North Texas, so he's a pretty good quarterback. Yeah.
I feel an upset here. I'm taking Kansas at home.
God.
No,
I hate this.
I think that loss last week to Texas Tech was a bad loss for Kansas. I'm gonna go with Kansas State here. I think their defense is the better defense. I think they can hold Kansas.
Yeah, this is hard. I've been a big supporter of Kansas this whole year, but I gotta say I think I'm with Keith on this right now. I just think that Kansas State is playing better ball. I look at the quarterback matchup. Bean's a good quarterback. I know I just said that. Will Howard's a better quarterback. Both these teams really evolve around a running quarterback, which can be dangerous at times. And so I just think that Kansas State's offense has been a little bit better than Kansas's right now. So I will take the K-State. 7.5 might be too much. Kansas might keep it closer than that.
Well, what really sells me on Kansas State is what they did with Texas, taking Texas to overtime.
Yeah.
And
Now that was a Texas team without Quinn and Ewers, though. Keep that in mind too.
I mean, it's still Texas.
Yeah.
They still have talented play all on that field. So, and then Kansas losing to Texas Tech was just kind of a shocker.
Yeah.
So,
All right, last top 25 matchup we got number 22 Utah State. The Utes are Utah. God, I had State on my brain.
Kansas State.
Utah Utes 7-3. They're number 22 in the country. They're going to number 17 Arizona for the Arizona fans that are coming after us. Yeah, you were right.
Yep.
You were right. 7-3 in their 7-3 overall, 5-2 in their conference. Arizona a 1-point favorite at home here on a team that has been beating people.
Give me Arizona. I'm going to ride the hot train right now. I think Utah has a good defense. I also own them. And I thought they were going to be the it team this year getting in the Pac-12, or at least one of the top three. And I think they have just kind of been mediocre. Granted, they have been without their starting quarterback.
I was going to say, they would have been
year.
the it team if they had Cam Rising.
And so I don't think they have done well enough on offense. I just don't think it's quite what it could have been. Arizona has surprised a ton of people this year,
All of us.
being projected last team in the Pac-12 or was
No, there was always going to be Stanford and Washington State, but I think they were kind of a middle of the road, like a 6-6 team. So
I thought they were.
Yeah, I was
Down there.
I was with Adam.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be like a 2
Yeah, I thought
9 or like a.
maybe not overall, but I thought in the conference they were like bottom 3 in the Pac-12.
Yeah,
they have come out and have played really good ball, and I'm going to ride the hot train here and take Arizona at home.
I'm gonna ride the hot hand too. I'm gonna ride with Arizona right now too.
It's going to be a clean sweep right now because I'm going to tell you, I will be
We've
wrong.
been watching Arizona. They've been just
Yeah, I'll be wrong about one thing. I am not about to be wrong about Arizona yet again. So I just think that Utah, not to say that they've turned it off and given up. You just saw a devastated team after that Washington loss this past week.
Mm-hmm.
That I question, is there a drive still to kind of keep this going, right? Like, you're going to go to a bowl game for sure. You're not going to play for your conference championship anymore.
Nope.
You got 2 more games to kind of ride out. Does it matter if you're 7-5 or does it matter if you're 9-3? For them, I don't know. So Harrison Barnes, great kid, cool backstory on the farm and everything, but just he's not Cameron Rising. He's not going to be able to elevate that team to the level it needs to be to win games. And Arizona's hot, man. Got to go with them. So College Game Day. It is not where you thought it would be. It's at James Madison this week. The 10-0 Dukes, who, by the way, can't go to a bowl game. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
They're still in like their probationary period, right?
Yep. And so they're facing the 6-4 Appalachian State Mountaineers. This is a 2 o'clock game out there in Harrisonburg, Virginia. JMU a 9-point favorite.
Yeah, give me JMU.
Yeah.
Yep. Give me the Dukes.
Yeah.
Give me JMU.
Pretty clean
They
sweep
they
here.
are just running through people right now.
Yeah. I think there needs to be a little bit of justice, in my opinion, for this team. I don't know how they're going to go 12-0 and then not make a bowl game, in my opinion. Just kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you not going to be in the discussion, even to make not saying that they're going to be in the playoff, but
Yeah.
how do you go 12-0 and beat some of the people that they've beaten and not be in the discussion to be part of some higher ranking bowl games?
Yeah, listen, they don't play a hard schedule. Like, don't get me wrong. They beat Virginia is the best win they have this week, or this year, probably.
I mean, they did beat Troy. They beat South Alabama, who's had a decent
no,
year.
No, they're bad.
They
No.
beat Marshall.
I'd say it was Georgia State.
Georgia State and Georgia Southern are probably their best wins outside of actually beating a Power 5 team in Virginia at
Yeah.
Virginia. So they end with App State and Coastal, two very competitive teams. I just they don't necessarily play anybody, but you got to win 6 games to get to a bowl game. This team is 12-0. Like I hate the preliminary period for them.
And they were
The
a solid
bureaucracy.
team last year too.
Yeah, I mean they were they were probably a 10-win team last year. Yeah, we'll go JMU across the board here, so that will wrap up our Week 12 college football picks. Make sure you hit us in the comments, let us know who you think's winning some of these games, and for those that have stayed along, we appreciate you riding along with us. We're ready to give you that punishment. Hopefully Alex is the one that has to do it. And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.